This video will show you how to submit new information for an existing MTP or TIP project with KIPDA's ePIF application. An existing project will have an assigned KIPDA ID, and there will be a project information form for the project in your sponsor agency's Dropbox file that KIPDA staff has shared with you. To start, the ePIF application can be found by navigating to the Transportation Planning portal through KIPDA's website. Click on Transportation in the menu and look for Transportation Planning Portal near the bottom. In the portal, click on Forms, and the link to the ePIF application is the first on the left. Click to open. Select Add Project to TIP or modify existing MTP or TIP project to get started. 3 sub-options will appear, and you can select all that apply for this situation. Select the first option, Modify Project Scope and Other Details, if you need to modify any of the following: project name, description, purpose and needs statement, state ID or designation number, estimated open to public year, estimated cost, or the proposed number of travel or turn lanes. The second option should be selected if the project needs to be added to the TIP or if there are existing phases in the TIP that need to be changed. And finally, the third project should be selected if you wish to remove a project from the MTP. A project is usually removed if it is complete or if the sponsor is no longer interested in pursuing the project in the long term. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to select all 3 to demonstrate. Before we move on, I also want to point out that the form has a Save and Resume feature. Click on this to get a direct link back to the form saved with the information that you have input. The link is good for 30 days, and you can also email it to yourself so you don't lose it. Back in the form, click Next to continue. Enter the KIPDA ID and the project name as it is listed in the most recent PIF in the Dropbox, and click Next. Since we indicated some project details need to be modified, a list will be shown with options. You can select all that apply. For this demonstration, I'll select Description, Open to Public Year, and the proposed number of travel or turn lanes. Enter the new revised information in the corresponding fields. Once you have entered the revised information, click Next. The form will now ask about TIP funding because I selected that at the beginning. Options are available to make funding changes to existing phases, add new phases with funding, or remove phases with funding. You may select more than one option. For this project, I will show you how to make a change to an existing phase and add new phase with funding. You will see additional information appear toward the bottom of the form. The TIP funding line items are organized by project phase, up to 15, if you need them. Going from the top, I'm going to describe the reason for the change in TIP funding. Once I have indicated the reason for the change in TIP funding, I will list this changing phase, the right-of-way phase, down here, and proceed with the new information. Since I indicated the federal fiscal year for this phase will be 2022, I will put 2022 in this second box. I will also list out the funding source for this project, the federal dollars associated with it, the other dollars, most likely local match, and the total dollars will automatically calculate at the bottom. Next, I will add a project phase, for example, construction, entering the federal fiscal year for this project phase, again, the funding source, and again, the federal dollars and other dollars associated with this phase, and the total dollars will automatically calculate at the bottom. Once you have entered all project phases and information that is changing or new, scroll to the bottom and hit Next. Now, you wouldn't normally add TIP funding and remove a project from the MTP at the same time. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I also wanted to show you what it was like to remove a project from the MTP. The form will ask you a simple question of why the project is being removed, mostly for staff planning purposes. Usually, the project has been completed, and KIPDA staff would like to know this in order to follow up on potential impacts of the project on our performance measures. If you're no longer interested in pursuing the project, we can remove it so that it's no longer showing to the public in the MTP. And if there's another situation, please select that option and list it out for staff to follow up. Once you're ready to submit the form, it will lead you to the email confirmation page, where you can enter up to 3 email addresses for receiving a confirmation of the submitted form and the information that you input. Make sure you hit Submit Form to finalize all information. Staff will review the proposed project changes and notify you of the next steps. Once the proposed changes have been processed through an amendment or an administrative modification, staff will notify you that an updated project information form has been uploaded to your agency's Dropbox file. To submit more information for another project, you can click here to submit another EPIF application. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself, Elizabeth Fark, Nick Vale, or David Burton for any questions regarding the MTP, TIP, or form assistance. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is helpful as you submit project information through KIPDA's EPIF application.